So while I do transplant the majority of my seedlings into the garden, there are a few scenarios or instances where I do direct sow into the garden. And we take a look at these ones that I recently started. The method that I use gets essentially a 100% germination rate. So today I want to walk you through step by step my process for direct sowing and why worm castings are so beneficial to this process. So as we get started here, if you do have any questions at any point, just leave those down in the comments. I start every one of my days having a cup of coffee and answering every question that we receive on YouTube. So you're gonna get a response from me within 24 hours. Now there are 3 scenarios where I will direct sow into the garden rather than starting the seeds underneath the grow lights indoors. And the first of those scenarios is for our just really fast crops, such as our radishes and some of our leafy greens, such as spinach, etc. So with these radishes in front of me as an example, the growing cycle on them is going to be kind of between 30 to 50 days, depending on the variety that you're growing. So for myself, it's just not worth all of that extra work to be starting them indoors and then hardening them off and then transplanting them in when they're going to be done growing within 50 days. Now the second scenario is for my rooted crops, such as carrots or parsnips or turnips. And the reason for this is because each of these has a distinct taproot, and this taproot is trying to grow down as fast and as far as it can to establish its root system. And so when we start it in a seed cell, that taproot can ultimately end up at the bottom of the seed cell within 7, 14, 21 days, and that can ultimately change the structure and the way that that plant grows. So in those particular instances, I'll start those seeds directly in the bed so that it can just grow freely in the direction that it desires. And the third scenario is simply, I forgot. And that absolutely happens each and every season. And for this particular season, it was arugula that I forgot to get started with all the rest of my seeds indoors there. And so what I want to do next is walk through step by step how I'm going to go about starting these arugula seeds and any other seeds that I'm direct sowing into the bed. And so the very first thing that I do is I prep the area with 1 inch of fresh compost. I simply pop that onto the top of the bed and then spread it out evenly. Now, if you haven't been adding compost to your garden beds in the past, or if you don't know what's been happening with the beds that you're working in now in past years, then I would actually encourage you to add 3 or 4 inches of compost into that bed this year and to work it into the soil, to till it into the soil so that you develop a really nice blend of soil. And then in subsequent years, just add the 1 to 2 inches of compost onto the top and disturb the soil beneath it as little as possible, because there's an incredible ecosystem that is growing and developing down there. So with the new compost in, the next thing that we need to do is space out the bed. And the amount of space that we're going to go with for each plant is going to vary depending on that plant and its growing needs. And so in our garden planning guide, we go through every vegetable and how much space each of them needs. And I'm going to drop a link to download that for free in the description of this video. For arugula here, I know I can plant it very densely. I'm going to go with 9 per square foot. So with the spacing done, the next thing that I do is I add 3 seeds into each one of the holes that I poked. And I actually backfill the holes after I've poked them a little bit so that the seeds sit only about 1 centimeter beneath the surface. And the reason I put 3 into each hole is to ensure that at least one of them germinates so that we end up with a plant growing in each one of the spaces that we planned. And next up is for the worm castings magic. And so just before we put that into the bed here, for those of you that I have not met before, I'm Jordan from Mind and Soil, where we're looking to introduce 1 million individuals to gardening's mental health benefits. So if you're looking for more peacefulness, more calmness, more joy, restoration in your life, then I really would love to have you subscribe to our channel here, because we put out new videos just like this one every single week, taking as much of the guesswork out of gardening as possible so that you can be more quickly and readily tapping into its mental health benefits. So with my worm castings, what I'm going to do is cover each one of the seeds with this instead of covering it with the garden soil. And the reason why this works so well is because worm castings retain a ton of moisture, and for a seed to germinate, it needs to be in a moist and warm environment. So by having those worm castings on top, we're ensuring that there's going to be moisture all around it, and we don't need to be watering every 12 hours, 24 hours. They're going to be in a much better environment for ultimately germinating. And on top of that, you get all that biology all those microbes right in and around the seed from the point that it germinates and begins to grow. And then I'll water that in so that the seeds have that moisture and begin to germinate. Alrighty, so we're all set for these to begin germinating. And it kind of begs the question, like, what do we do from this point moving forward? And there's really 3 final things that we can do. The first one is optional, and that is to put a mini DIY greenhouse over top of them. This is going to both ensure more of the warm air stays around them, so they have a higher likelihood of germinating, but also it's going to protect the soil from any winds that are coming through that could dry it up more quickly, as well as the little plant babies when they germinate from any critters that might go after them as a little snack. Now the second piece is, when do I water next? And what I like to do is go into the area where I planted the seeds and place the back of my hand onto the top of the soil. If I then feel some moisture still on there, I don't water them. But if I don't feel any moisture on the back of my hand, then I give them their next round of watering. And the third and final piece is, when do I fertilize them and give them their first feeding? And I wait until day 14 to 21. And then for my leafy greens, I feed them our 4-4-4 superfood. And for our rooted crops, such as carrots, I feed them our rooted food to give them a little bit more phosphorus for that root development. And the reason why I wait until day 14 to 21 is because in those first few weeks, the plant has everything that it needs in the seed that it grew out of. There are some nutrients in there, but once we start getting to day 14 to 21, it needs a little bit more nutrition in order to go through its first growth spurt. Now folks, if you do follow these steps for direct sowing your seeds, I know that you're going to have a really nice and high germination rate. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the comments of this video and I'll get a response to you super quickly. Other than that, I can't wait to catch you on the next video. Go get those hands dirty and I'll see you soon.